What a month September was! The fire and water elements are combining in a Hieros-Gamos relationship to bring the full power of Azoth to our planet. It has not been available for us for thousands and thousands of years. I have been seeing, receiving and experiencing so much information that my head is spinning. It's going so much faster than I thought it would. Because so much has happened, and since I have been writing about this for 2 years now, I am going to recap my information a little bit. I do, however, recommend reading my past articles on this subject because they all connect to this one. I will suggest what to read as I write. Our planet is forming a new energy that has never been here before, and it is the game changer that we have been waiting for. It's not our savior, because we save ourselves, but it will be available to those who are ready for it. It will be the savior of the planet, however, as it will evolve Earth into a new being. When this occurs, it will evolve our bodies into something new. This will not be a short article. My purpose is to provide my information with as much clarity and simplicity as I can. It is a combination of both ancient science and spiritual knowledge. I feel we are at a point where people need to know what is coming to the planet and what will be available to them on a personal level. I try to get to the point and be as exact as I can and relate everything to what it means for you on a deep personal level. If you are not able to read this long article, then there is a reason for that, and it is fine. I am setting the energetic intention for this writing to reach those who are ready and not waste the time of those who are not. This is not meant to be demeaning to anyone, but I do not want to push something on an individual that they are not ready for. All will be ready at some point, but we travel at different speeds on our personal paths. Now here is the recap presented in the briefest way that I can present it. Fall of 2014. It is interesting how our big shifts and changes begin in the fall. There is an esoteric reason for this, and it is interesting that it aligns with the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, which occurs from October 2nd through the 4th this year. As we fall below the ecliptic at the equinox, we fall into the dark days of our cycle. All creation begins in darkness. Then, as we move above the right hand of ascension into the light of spring, the fruits of our labor bloom into great beauty. The beginning of the formation of this new energy started back in 2014 when the amount of ether, our current fifth element, increased on the astral level of our planet. I clairvoyantly saw this as a deep black energy mixed with swirls of purple. All of our elements and energy are created from ether, the black Genesis energy, so looking back I can see why this came first. The planet is creating a new element and energy for us that will trigger this major shift of consciousness. But it occurs in stages, it's not just one shift. I wrote about this in detail in October of 2014. In September of 2014, I received and saw the information telling us that fire would play an important role. We have been taught to fear dark energy, but it is the source of all creation. It is the Bible verse of 2 Corinthians 4:6 where we learn, "Out of darkness came the light." This is not only true for us on a personal level, but it is true on a planetary and universal level as well. As within, so without. What occurs within us also occurs outside of us. Year of Infinity 2015. In February of 2015, I saw the infinity symbol, which is connected to the 13th Golden Gate, shift to an open position. The infinity symbol flipped from being in a sideways closed gold infinity position to the upward open position. I wrote 2 long articles on this entitled The Secrets of Infinity Part 1 and 2. This allows for all new energy created on the astral to move into the physical. It also plays an important role in liberation of not only this planet, but humanity as well. 2015 was an 8-year in numerology, so it makes sense that infinity would flip at the beginning of the year, which allowed for our upward movement to occur. April of 2015 brought us an interesting alignment in the sky that most people missed. They knew what the planets were, but they missed the occult and esoteric meaning. I wrote about this as well in the Ribbons in the Sky article. But, basically, I had a vision of the planets in alignment before I knew the alignment was going to occur. Then when I saw an article that showed the alignment, I could put the pieces together. We had 5 planets in an alignment: Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter and Saturn. These are the same 5 planets in the ancient Ribbons drawing. The Ribbons is the joining of the masculine and feminine, merger of ego and soul, and the completion of the magnum opus of our great work we are here to do on the planet. It is what Earth School was about. Notice I said was about, as it has changed. Please read Ribbons in the Sky for more information on this event. This event set the stage for the alignment that occurred in July of 2015, but before I discuss that, we had one more huge event occur that I was witness to. In June of 2015 we had the water energy of Azoth completely rewired and rebooted. I experienced this in the physical in Texas. There is too much to write here about this event. I wrote an article about it, and we did a full 2-hour radio show on this. Both are available to you. The title is "Let the Living Waters of the Divine Mother Rebirth the Earth." This event set the stage for the water aspect of Azoth to enter. This brings us to July 2015, where another amazing alignment took place, and again, people knew what the planets were, but the true meaning of it was lost to closed eyes and minds. It was the amazing Star of Bethlehem alignment that is reported to have been in the sky at the birth of Christ. Now, when we talk about the birth of Christ, we are not speaking in the literal physical birth. There were many representatives of the Christ energy that were born in the physical, but this alignment had a deeper meaning. This was about the Christ consciousness energy that is created in your heart center. This was the second coming of Christ. It was not a literal physical coming, but a physical appearance in the heavens, which is where Jesus said to look for him. In the Bible he said this after the Transfiguration, so he was in his energetic rainbow body at the time. We were to look to the stars for the return of the Christ energy body. It returned to everyone with this alignment. Try telling this to a hardcore Christian and they will hunt you down. LOL. I can say that because I was raised Southern Baptist and I know. Prior to this gift that the alignment brought, the achievement of Christ consciousness was available. However, we were not taught how to achieve it, so people did not receive this energy in their hearts as they are supposed to. If they did, you could clearly see this in their aura. At the top of the crown chakra a thin circle of light would be present. It is the real halo. It was white and was not part of the other colors of the aura. Many people have a purple ring of thick energy around their heads. This is not a halo. The purple color is very high vibrating, but not the halo. It is actually the precursor to the halo. I was able to see this in people. It was like a diploma. Once this alignment passed, all the halos disappeared. Why? Because every human body on this planet achieved this level of attainment, it was necessary for all to have it so we could move on to the next achievement. Now, I can hear the people who achieved this through long hours of inner work grumbling. Grumble LOL. I bet you're wondering, why did so and so freely get what I had to work for? Well, they did, but they didn't at the same time. Yes, they received the Christ consciousness diploma, but it is not the same as if you worked for it and achieved it before the alignment, which was the deadline. There really is a big difference. But, at this point the physical stage was set for everyone on this planet to move on to the next. I knew all through the spring and summer of 2015 that the full potential for Azoth and beyond would enter the astral level in a huge way, and I knew it would occur in October. But I wasn't really making a big deal of it until Wave X hit the airwaves. I was still terribly shy about my sharing at the time. Being the new kid on the block and having information to present that has not been discussed before is no easy task in the spiritual communities. Once Wave X was out in the open, I knew I needed to become vocal about what Wave X was. Wave X came in as a huge dark tidal wave of energy that contained everything from which we needed to create this new energy. The wave was full of Azoth energy. Both fire and water in the astral level that is closest to our planet. That was the first step. Then, the next is for the water and fire energy to manifest in the physical. The water was already doing that, but the fire had not yet affected the physical in 2015. However, this wave was a complex energy wave and not a wave of just water energy. Water waves come in and then recede. This Azoth wave did not recede, it stayed. This is a big part of the puzzle that many miss. As each section of this shift through Azoth presents itself in the physical, it feels like a wave to people because they have been conditioned to think that any energetic increase is just another wave, and not an increase of what already came. We aren't getting any breaks now. No receding for us, just the upward intense climb. I wrote many articles on Wave X. Look for articles with Wave X in the title. We also did some radio shows on this topic. It is interesting that the X was used in the name. Azoth has a slight connection to Planet X or Nibiru, which is a positive connection, and X is 10, which is completion. Once all of the steps of this Azoth process are complete, the shift will be complete. How long will this take? I wish I knew. We have never done this before. I feel the full potential of what Azoth with mutate into will be here by the end of 2017. Then it is up to each person to hold that energy in their body. There will be no mistaking this achievement, and it is connected to the 13th sign of Ophiuchus, which is connected to the 13th gate that opened. I will go into that aspect when I write my article on Ophiuchus, which will be in the new zodiac that is part of this new energy that is being created. The number 13 is the key to this new beginning. The Year of Higher Consciousness 2016. We now are living fully in the upper part of infinity that is represented in the number 9. We move to the upper part of infinity. Again, look for my articles on this. I wrote one just on the numerology of the shift in February of 2016. 2016 is numerologically a 9-year. In May of 2016 I discovered that we have a 13th cranial nerve that little is known about. I received information that this little nerve is connected to the 13th gate, the 13th sign of Ophiuchus and Azoth. This article was written in 2 parts. In June of 2016, I received a vision of a blowtorch of fire energy coming from the ground. I wrote about it. I knew the fire energy would come in with a bang in August under the sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun and is connected to the Sphinx in Egypt. The opposite firestorm of Leo in the zodiac is Aquarius, the sign of the water bearer, perfect for Azoth. And that is what happened. What I saw as a blowtorch of fire in my vision manifested in the physical on our Earth. And it did it in multiple locations. The synchronicities were just mind-blowing with these physical events. There were so many that I did not write about them. I did make some posts on my personal Facebook page. I take great pleasure in seeing proof in our 3D world. I don't resonate with fluffy New Age Dear Ones information that doesn't have solid manifestation in our solid 3D world. July 2016 brought us another alignment which I wrote about. You can find this information in an article called Fire to Water Occurring in the Skies. This appearance of the fire energy came much sooner than I expected. This brings us to September, and all I can say is wow. After you read what I have to say about last month, you will see why I had to do a large recap. I will discuss September by going vision by vision, experience by experience, and tie in the inner knowings that came with it. This is where my years of study really helped me out. I did write an article on the energy of the 999 day that we experienced. This is also worth reading as it ties in the number 9 and its importance in this shift. September 2016 was a wow month. I had vision after vision. I will share the most important ones. The first thing I saw was the water bags that hold our pool cover down had many red lines of red energy coming up from them. This told me that the water and fire were combining. I knew it was a big deal, but it still was just an energetic occurrence. Then Hurricane Matthew developed, and sprites were reported by the Weather Channel. Oh my goodness! I was stunned. Once I saw the photo of the sprites, I realized they were exactly what I saw in my vision. Sprites in meteorology are electricity, lightning that spike in red lines from the top of cloud formations. Water and fire in combination. I decided to research sprites, and the puzzle pieces filled in even more. I was thrilled because this energy has entered our physical reality, our boots on the ground. The spiritual definition of a sprite is a being that lives in the elemental kingdom. Each element has sprites that are connected to it. They are the consciousness of the element. When I realized I saw the fire sprites coming up from the water bags, I then knew they were creating the full energy of Azoth. Azoth, as I have stated, is the combination of fire and water. The combination is done through the hieroskamos action of the sprites. This process will not stop here. Once the full Azoth is created here on the planet, it will evolve into a brand new element. But that is for next year. I think. Who knows, as fast as things are moving, nothing surprises me anymore. Fire sprites are represented as salamanders in esoteric drawings. The one that just amazes me is the ancient star of Azoth drawing. Another puzzle piece put together, and it is currently happening on this planet as we speak. One interesting addition is that the Jewish gematria for the word Matthew is 1044. 144 plays an important role in esoteric teachings, but when you add them up we get the number 9. If you read the articles I have written about 9 and its importance right now, then you know why this is a big deal. This hurricane helped to bring the combination of fire and water to our physical planet during a 9-year. The second vision I had was of a large sea turtle with a bright red shell standing on the water's edge, and was very slowly walking to the water. This is connected to the 8th fire prophecy I wrote about, which is connected to Turtle Island. The Earth in this prophecy is called Turtle Island, and the number 13 is also part of this big puzzle. This vision was further confirmation that water and fire are combining to make Azoth, and they are doing it on the Earth. The sea turtle is the water, and the red shell represents the fire. And of course, the turtle is our planet Earth. As if this wasn't enough, it just got better. I received an email from one of my clients named Yukia. She sent me a letter as part of our follow-up from our session. Her experience or vision was right in line with mine. Her experience took place on an island. This to me is Turtle Island, and of course she is surrounded by water. She found herself in the bottom of a deep crevice, and a circular black hole had the figure 8, infinity upwards, touching the bottom, and in the remains of the volcano she could see a small golden larva. Then everything became misty and foggy. Now, what happens when fire and water combine? We have mist or steam. I was thrilled to read this. On a personal level, she is one of the first to carry this Azoth energy in her body. I will go into more about this at the end of the article. But the fact that she saw the figure 8 on an island, where a volcano was erupting, is more proof that the 8th fire prophecy is occurring as we speak. We have the spiritual experiences and the physical showing us the way. The third vision I had took me a while to figure it out. I saw a man with curly hair pointing with his finger up to the sky. I knew this was something I would have to research to figure it out. Which I did. It is Saint John the Baptist, who is pointing with his finger that represents fire in Hermetic magic. Da Vinci, who painted this amazing painting, was a Hermetic magician and was very clever enough to paint John the Baptist who baptizes with water pointing with his fire finger to the sky. I did have another vision, where I was meditating and I was a giant finger floating above me pointing up to the sky just like John's finger, but this time I was above me. Like it was my finger. I am sure it was not my finger, but it looked like it. More information showing us that fire and water are combined into full Azoth. If you do your research on the Hopi prophecy of the red and blue Shekinah, you will see how this correlates. The eagle is masculine energy, has the focus of the mind, and it is connected to fire and Mars. Red Shekinah, the condor, is feminine energy, softness of the heart, and is connected to water and Sirius. Blue Shekinah, there is so much to this. I decided not to go into all of this in this article. But, I found a lot of evidence that the red and blue Shekinah mythology is related to the science of Azoth. I also found that there is an interesting relationship between Mars and Sirius. This brings me to the most amazing part of this whole article, and that is, what does all of this mean to us in our physical bodies? Now that everyone has received the energetic gift of Christ consciousness, all that has to be done is to pull that energy into the physical body. Every person is doing all of the steps at their own pace. Once this has occurred, then the real magic happens. And that is when you pull the Azoth energy that is now available into your body. This energy is connected to Buddha consciousness. On September 21, 2016, I had the privilege of having both of my clients that day working on pulling this energy into their bodies at different levels. I have amazing clients, and I learn so much from connecting with their energy bodies. My first client has fully embodied and balanced the water energy and is now working on the fire. She has the full Kali energy, which is creator and destroyer at the same time. In order to reach this level, you have to be very humble, compassionate, and actively doing inner work. Spiritual maturity is a must. The only person you compete with is yourself. It is such a powerful level that you will fry your system if you are not prepared. She is doing a great job at tempering her fire energy so it will mix with the water to make the Azoth energy within her body. My second client was Yukia, whose vision and experience I shared. She has now begun to embody the energy of Azoth. I knew this was what she was working at before our first session. She wrote to me after I had my visions, and here are her words that she received. I am looking at multi-dimensional shifts in preparation for announcements and the chamber work that is taking place for a long time to get me ready and in alignment to all the internal work. The chamber work is the hieroskamos of the fire and water. I could clearly see that she was ready to pop. She just needed some guidance, and pop she did. Her chamber work is done, and the announcements may commence. Then of course the real work begins. It is clear that we have entered into a time when we are no longer light workers or dark workers, but we are becoming both, as can be seen in Yukia. This Azoth energy will make us both creator and destroyer all rolled up and neatly packaged in our current physical bodies. You do have to work for this, so that will leave a lot of people out. This is not an achievement that you just think about happening to you. You have to do physical inner work and have the 3 keys to alchemy at your command, which are, will, intention, vitality. Without them you will fail. It is not for the faint of heart. All are called, but few hear and are willing to do the work. This energy is what we have been waiting for. It is the game changer for humanity and for our planet. Gaia has received it already and is actively using it to purify this planet. This can be seen in the infrared photo of Hurricane Matthew taken by meteorologist Stu Ostro. The planet is in full destroyer mode. Which is a good thing, because the creation will follow. Cheers to all the future Azoth workers. We have a lot of work to do. Lisa.
Lisa offers holistic life coaching sessions, and I put a link to it down in the description box if you are interested.